What's going on, guys? Happy Thursday to y'all. Welcome again to the Third and 10 podcast presented by Belly Up Sports. And shout out to our sponsors, SeatGeek and Righteous Felon Jerky. We love those guys, man. Thank you for y'all's support. This is Nate Dogg himself, joined by my guy, my fellow Giants fan, the only Mets fan I know in my life, Brian Germinaro. Brian, how you doing, my guy?
Doing well. Just trying to navigate the worst 2 days of the year where there's absolutely nothing on TV.
Dude, it is literally nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Not even WNBA.
No,
There's not even that. We
no,
have
we've nothing.
we have
Absolutely nothing. We're
we have
watching a lot
golf.
of Game of Thrones.
We have golf.
Yeah, we got golf. Golf started today. That was nice.
But thank God, as we're recording this, tomorrow on Friday, baseball is back. Thankfully, football training camp is starting to get underway with the rookies reporting first, veterans report next week, and we're just have to survive. We have to survive these few days, and then we'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
But regardless, we got a fun episode for you guys today. We got episode 3 of Hard Knocks to discuss, where this really isn't a spoiler alert, but we get to find out the end of Saquon Barkley's tenure and how that went. We'll discuss our takeaways and our thoughts from a show that has kind of kept us glued to the TV every Tuesday night, I should say. So excited to talk about that. Also, we'll get to the All-Star Game, where we were impressed by the present and the future stars of Major League
Mm-hmm.
Baseball. Paul Skenes, I love you, man. Livy Dunn, you both are the best. Mason Miller, my fellow Oakland
He was
Athletics.
pumping heat. 104? Damn.
I know we wanted that
Come
from
on.
Skenes. But dude, at least we got it from Miller. And that's what we'd like to see. We'll dive into some more NFL talk as well. Brandon Ayuk, is he gonna get traded soon? I'm sure he will. Trust. Random topics, both in and out of the sports world. And yes, I'm telling the truth about this. We'll be talking about a flight attendant who got a Broncos legend arrested. Well, you'll see what I mean in a bit. A notable person, I should say, in the United States, getting COVID. And then, we'll also talk about the Olympics because they start less than 9 days away.
Yeah.
So we'll have some fun. First order of business, right? The New York Giants continue to dominate the NFL headlines. We have no complaints about that whatsoever, mostly because of their appearance on the off-season edition of Hard Knocks, which I totally love. I think on Tuesday I was watching the Baxter Ret that day, and I was watching the All-Star Game, and I still had time to watch Hard Knocks. So it was a very busy streaming day for me
Yeah.
on Tuesday, and
A
I'm
lot
sure
of
it was
TV to
for
watch.
I'm sure
Yeah,
it was
no,
for you
a lot
too.
of TV. A lot of TV for me to watch too.
I mean, I think it's safe to say that Hard Knocks kind of saved our summer in a way.
Yeah, it gave us content to talk about. It's just something we don't, normally see. We don't see these behind the scenes discussion from football normally.
Exactly. So this episode was fun to watch, right? I
Yes.
mean, we saw the conclusion of how the Brian Burns trade concluded, the process of the team signing free agents like John Runyon Jr., Jermaine Illuminor, other guys. Oh, we also saw the board that they showed of players that Giants were looking to sign, like Sam
Mm-hmm.
Darnold was a possibility, Gardner Minshew was a possibility, Robert Hunt. I think that's pretty. Am I missing any big topics that we need?
No. Robert Hunt and Sam Darnold were the two ones I know. It's like, oh, interesting.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Saquon
Minshew.
Barkley. I forgot.
Yeah,
Ugh, that bum.
I got some opinions.
Hey, the good thing is we finally got to learn how things ended between the two guys. So we'll start with you, Brian. What did you think of episode 3? What's your major takeaway from the Saquon Barkley situation, or any
Okay, so
takeaway?
my major takeaway is Saquon Barkley is a gigantic liar and did everything in his power to make the Giants look bad. Now, am I blaming Saquon Barkley for taking the most money? Absolutely not. Go out if you're a running back, especially at his age, with his injury history. Go out, get your bag. It sucks that you did it with the Philadelphia Eagles. I'll never forgive you for that. You're still a traitor, but from like a human standpoint, I'm not going to knock a guy for going out and getting the most money possible. Where I will knock Saquon Barkley was his handling of it. The way And we've seen the tweets. I've retweeted it. Everyone for the past couple weeks have retweeted it. Saying the Giants did not send him a counter offer. Didn't even make an offer to him this offseason. Sure, they did do that, but the way Saquon Barkley phrased it, they made it seem like the Giants completely ignored him this offseason. That's not true at all. The Giants went very respectfully in dealing with Saquon Barkley, allowed him to explore the market. And when they heard, oh, okay, the Bears are running the price up, the Eagles are interested, and oh, the Eagles are offering $13 million, that's too much for us. We're out. They were very respectful, and the way Saquon Barkley portrayed the Giants in that tweet and throughout the offseason has been not true. And when Saquon Barkley's going to learn this offseason, learn week 7, is you can't lie about the organization like you do because fans are going to turn their back on you and hate you for it.
Yeah, and I will say his agent has, if anyone has been kind of respectful throughout the whole thing, it has been his agent, Ed Berry. Him and Joe Shane have been kind of I wouldn't say buddy buddy, but they've been pretty friendly with one another throughout this whole process.
Business associates. How
Yeah,
you would go into a meeting and talk to somebody that you were trying to do business with.
exactly. I mean, that's how the episode started. It was Joe Shane speaking with Ed Berry, and they talked about a 3-year, $12.5 million per year deal with $25 million guaranteed. That was the deal that was, what Saquon was being, I guess, offered, and what the Giants were offered to match, according to Ed Berry. But here's the thing: at the beginning, Joe Shane was asking Ed Berry if we match that, he'll be a Giant, right? There was some hesitation there, so I was like, "Oh, that makes sense." And then here's the interesting thing: you mentioned Chicago, right? You said
Yeah.
they upped the price, and that Philly
Mhm.
was out of the race. We don't know who sent Joe Shane that text,
No, we don't know.
and that is interesting because I'm like, obviously, because we know Philly got themselves right back in it.
Hmm.
But I do wonder who sent him that text.
Yeah, no, I do too. Who sent him that text? Was it Philadelphia? Could they have been, trying to get the Giants out of it and scare them? Was it a dark horse like the Texans trying to, empty the playing field and go right after them? We don't know. What is it? Just an insider who got something wrong.
Hmm.
Be that simple as that.
And then before we even finish with the Saquon stuff, we know about John Mara, man. We've seen it again and again and again. And there was a quote where, as you know, he was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna have a hard time sleeping if he goes to Philadelphia." He keeps.
Yeah.
I
I respect that John Mara hates the Philadelphia Eagles and the traditional rivals of the Giants as much as the fans do. But at the same time, we weren't a Saquon Barkley away from winning. And that's not John Mara can't see that. He's just seeing a star player leaving. Well, we weren't winning with him. So why would we keep him?
and see that's the thing because it's like I understand he was our most popular player. I get that. Yes, popular players bring sales. Dude, we haven't won a Super Bowl in like 12 years. It doesn't matter
Been in the
if
playoffs twice.
we could have 10 popular players and all the fans could love them, and it doesn't mean anything if we don't win a Super Bowl. Okay. And it's like, he's not like this. Sure, yes, he was a generational running back. We saw that his rookie season. But besides the rookie season and what 2022,
Yeah.
what has he done?
Nothing. He's gotten hurt.
Hurt 2.82 something yards per carry type performances. Sure, the offensive line, you could blame him, but come on, dude. You were a second overall pick. You were known to figure things out, regardless of to be drafted that high at running back, you're supposed to figure things out, regardless of what you have in front of you.
Dave Gettleman said he wanted a locked gold jacket with a second round pick, and that's what Saquon Barkley was. Right now, does Saquon Barkley have a gold jacket?
Nope.
Absolutely not.
Oh, but we want to put him as,
Mm-hmm.
what, 100 players on the Giants?
Yeah, no, he's not. He's still living off the hype of his draft. He's still living off that hype. And I think maybe now he's away from the Giants, it'll kind of die down a little bit. But you could definitely make the argument that people still see him as the player he was in college. Newsflash, he's not. Go watch his college highlights and go watch the highlights from this season. You're going to see the step. He lost that step.
And it's because of the
That
injury.
explosive wasn't there. It's injuries, yes, but it's gone.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I get it. Mara loved him, or yeah, I'm sure he still loves him. Obviously, I loved him as well. I know you did too. At the same time, things don't work out. And later in the episode, we see Ed Berry speaking with Joe Shane again. Was told that the deal that was offered to Saquon was still $12.5 million per year annually. The guaranteed money was north of $25 million. And so once we heard the north of $25 million, Joe Shane was like, nope, we're out. So at the end of the day, Saquon signed with the Eagles for a 3-year, $37.35 million deal with $26 million guaranteed. Contract goes up to $46 million with incentives and all that stuff. So
Good riddance.
Yeah, I understand, fans or people will be like, oh, well, the Giants, if they paid Saquon an extra million in guarantee, that would bring him back. Yeah, but, we kind of knew from the start. Mm-hmm. We offered Saquon better offers last year. 4 offers was what I was researching.
Yeah, 4.
Yeah, so, if we can't even get that done, what makes you think that the fifth time isn't the charm? No one says fifth time's the charm.
Mm-hmm.
Any last points on Saquon before we move on to any other takeaways that we had from the episode?
Just to build off that, and that kind of transitions to our next point, if the Giants were to pay Saquon Barkley all that money, they wouldn't be able to bring in guys like Nguyen, Illuminore. Burns might have been, messed up. That was the thing they wouldn't be, obviously, running back. But it just goes that giving that extra $1 million, sure, on paper seems fine, but the other holes in the roster would still be there. Or they would have to go more in the draft and, not take guys like maybe don't take Tyler Newman and replace Xavier McKinney. Maybe don't get, Theo Johnson or Tracy Thompson Jr. Maybe don't get those guys because they had to fill other holes.
And sorry, I'm about to laugh because of what we saw in the episode. But before we get to that, Xavier McKinney, very not a lot of coverage on him.
No.
So I think.
I think they made it pretty obvious where Joe Shane and because it's kind of be a repeat of the Saquon thing where Joe Shane goes, that's going to make him the second highest paid safety in the league. Based on what the Giants were saying, all the holes, they weren't comfortable paying guys that much money. I think that I think Hard Knocks have been like, all right, this is kind of a repeat of the Saquon stuff. Saquon's more interesting. A fan can kind of, look at Joe Shane, the philosophy, understand why they didn't want to go that price range.
Yeah. So, but at the end of the day, man, I know we have these moments in Hard Knocks where it's hard to watch. Players leaving and all that, but there was some fun moments in episode 3. So we had Brian Dable and Joe Shane sitting in the office together. And Joe Shane was like, "You ready?" And Dable was like, "Yeah." So Shane gets his phone and starts blasting some Beyonce. And I'm like,
was on with their Beyonce guys.
If this ain't Texas.
I think he put on a country station, and that was a song that just happened to be playing. But
that's ironic.
I really, really hope that he on a Beyonce playlist. I really hope he did. That was funny. It would be if it was during the draft. Joe Shane's trying to lock in, and I don't even. He's got Beyonce blasting. He's got Single Ladies blasting before he selects Neighbors or Halo before Tyler Newman's a Giant. It's like, hang on, before we put the pick in, someone put on Single Ladies real quick.
I just feel like Joe Shane does have that. I don't think it was a station. I feel like he has a playlist, and he's a big Beyonce fan. We just don't even know it.
Beyonce, he's into all the 2010 ladies like Katy Perry. He's playing Roar every. He's got Brian Burns on the phone. He's blasting Roar. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, we country over here, Burns. Get used to it. But yeah, they were playing that as they were talking about free agents that they wanted to sign. Biggest concern from both Shane and Dable was obviously the offensive line. So let's start with that first, right? Which, by the way, the way they showed who the Giants were interested in from a free agent standpoint, how they were dishing out cards. I like that.
Loved it. Creative, and it fit the
Yeah.
Beyonce song. So like, all right, we can still use it. We can still use it.
We can still use it. The song keep playing. Don't
I know
stop.
Dable would play music. That was how he let the camera like. There were certain things they couldn't use because Dable would just turn music on. Like, well, that's copyright. We can't use it. But now HBO's like, we found a loophole. Put it in. Oh God, what was that? Something just fell.
Oh my gosh. But yeah. So I'm sorry. The song choice is just I love these
It's called Texas Hold'em. So like they were playing Texas Hold'em. That is Texas Hold'em.
dang right. So let's start with the offensive line. So John Runyon, Jermaine Illuminor, and Robert Hunt were the three guys the Giants were targeting all along. It seemed like out of the three, Illuminor was the cheapest. They thought he was going to be costing around 5 to 6 million, Runyon about 8 or 9. Robert Hunt was around 13 to 15 million, which is absolutely insane.
Yeah, he got 20. You know, get like 20 million.
Oh boy, I'm telling you. But at the end of the day, Giants did get Runyon. I didn't know the Jets were in on both Runyon and Illuminor.
I didn't realize. I heard the Jets were in on Illuminor, which makes sense to tackle the protect Rodgers. But Runyon, I was unaware of. Very interesting to see that the Jets almost outbid us, and we had to basically fight with the Jets, fight with our little brother.
Basically, I think we had to add an extra million to Runyon, because I think the Jets were offering 2 years, 9 million per year, 17 guarantees. So the Giants were like, all right, bet. 3 years, 10 million APY, 17 million guaranteed. Got the deal done. Illuminor, that was a bit tougher, I think, as well, because Arizona was also in it, but he only wanted a 2-year deal.
Yeah, so the Giants can use the same tactic they did with Runyon. Like, all right, we'll give him next year. Well, no, he's going to say no immediately. He wants 2 years. It's like, oh, well, now we're going to give him more money.
Which is weird because you could help me out with this because I don't understand why. Because I know that Joe Shun wanted to give him 3, but Illuminor didn't want that. Why do you think he said no?
I could see it as a way of getting one more payday, like especially with how physical the lineman position is. Like, say he gets 3 years, in that final third year, he blows his knee out. Well, now he goes into free agency, no leverage. You know, he's not going to make anything. At least if he has 2 good seasons, he can set himself up for one more big payday at the end of the day. That's where I think it's coming from. Short-term deals to get more contracts rather than one longer deal. But, you know, it kind of works out less in the end.
Makes sense. Because I was just like, wouldn't you want that extra year of security? But you do make a great point. That extra payday does come into play. So Giants end up getting those 2 guys with the Runyon acquisition first that they showed that kind of let the Giants out of the Robert Hunt race, who ended up, as you mentioned, signing for 20 million per year with the Carolina Panthers. So good for the Panthers, getting offensive line help, but kind of expensive for our taking. And Illuminor, I feel like Illuminor is a bit better.
Yeah. Because now it gives the Giants flexibility. I think they even brought up that he was going to be our starting right tackle. Well, where does that leave Mr. Neal? Do the Giants believe that Neal can slide into the inside like we have said many times this podcast? I would like to see it. If that is conversation, I would like to see it on Hard Knocks very soon.
Oh, yeah, 1,000%. It's either going to be that or Illuminor is going to be playing left guard, like we've seen, obviously, in training in the offseason so far. But we would like to see Illuminor at right tackle, even though it does seem like he'll play guard. We would like to see him at tackle, but we'll see what happens if they show that in these future episodes. Quarterback, we talked about that a little bit. Drew Lock, Sam Darnold was an option. Tyrod Taylor was actually the number 1 option in terms of bringing back at quarterback.
That makes sense. They have familiarity with him. He started the season. They kind of know what they're getting with him. Makes total sense to me why they targeted him.
I didn't know that Gardner Minshew was an option, though. That was actually...
that was interesting with me. I would have loved Gardner Minshew because I do think he's a starting caliber quarterback, but not at that contract.
I think it was the estimate was like 10 to 20 million was what the estimated value was
Yeah,
for him. So I was like,
that's
yeah,
that's a lot for him just to sit on the bench. And if you have Daniel Jones, who's making 40, like we have 50 to 60 million dollars going to two quarterbacks. Like, what are we doing here, guys?
we're not the Steelers.
Yeah, really, yeah, really.
And then finally at running back, we have we had Saquon Barkley as the number one option to bring back, but then we had Devin Singletary, also known as Motor Singletary, and then we also had DeAndre Swift as the third option. And as we know, the Giants ended up getting Singletary. I wouldn't have minded DeAndre Swift if things went that way, but at the end of the day, Singletary was our guy along with Drew Lock on a 1 year, $5 million deal. And the Brian Burns thing. Before that's kind of to wrap things up.
Yeah, I was a little disappointed with it. I thought I kind of wanted him to go more in depth with it because
Oh,
they kind of like they signed him and then they kind of jumped to the point where the Panthers and Giants had agreed to a second and fifth, and the Panthers tried to add a seventh. It's like whoa. Last time I had this in negotiation, it was like 2 seconds.
yeah,
How did that was it the money? But if like explain that, you have to explain that.
yeah. I feel like they, when Shane was talking about the whole adding a seventh round pick, it was like, we need players too. Dan, referring to Dan Morgan, the Panthers GM. Uh, Obviously, Burns was on the non-exclusive franchise tag. So the Giants would be able to land Burns, but the Panthers would have to get compensated as well. So at the end of the day, it would be a 5 year, $150 million deal for Burns for the Giants, and then in return, the Panthers do get they got pick 39 from us. They got pick 140 and then a 2025 fifth round pick, and the Giants got pick 165 back from this year's draft. So yeah, I would have because you made a good point. We went from two firsts in episode one to 2 seconds, and then all of a sudden we get what a second.
A second, a fifth, and a seventh. It's like whoa, we had 2 seconds a second ago. How do we jump? Like where was the negotiation where it's this? Because it was kind of portrayed that the Giants were waiting since noon for the Panthers to get back to them. Where was that? It was just kind of like, okay, here's all our free agents, and at 4 o'clock, okay, now we're going to focus on Brian Burns. Doesn't make sense. The timeline's not adding up.
I mean, hey, to go from 2 seconds to what? Yeah, a second and a fifth round pick, two fifth round picks, right? No, what pick 140 is? No, pick 140 is a fourth round pick.
Fifth round swap, basically.
There you go. Not bad. Hey,
No, not bad at all. It's a great deal for Brian Burns. Sure, the contract's a little expensive, but Brian Burns is a young, good pass rusher. I'll pay good money for good pass rushers.
There you go. So yeah, that was pretty much it. The episode ended with Joe Shane with his family, his son. It was funny because he talked about how his friends asked him like, "Your dad should do this and that," but the son was like, "Joe Shane knows, or Dad knows what he's doing," and I'm like, "Yeah, he does. We believe in him."
Imagine going to school with Dave Gettleman's kid. Dad knows what he's doing. No, he doesn't. He doesn't know what he's doing.
Even the son's, even if his son, I'm not sure if he has a son, but I bet his son would be like, "Yeah, I know, guys. I'm sorry. Okay, I know he drafted a running back.
That kid got bullied at school.
Ah, imagine.
Her dad's a moron. I know. Stop.
We get it.
You don't have to live with him.
Draft the quarterback. We know. But look, this show has been keeping us on our toes all month long, and it gets even better next week because we see Malik Neighbors being praised again by Brian Dable, as both Dable and Joe Shane are at LSU's Pro Day. Apparently, the Giants were trying to trade up for Jaden Daniels.
Love it.
That was a
love it. I sang his praises. Love it.
And then we see John Mara. He was like, "If we pull this deal, I'm gonna get heart palpitations." Like, bro, we know, man.
Bro, get out of the room or just sit there quietly.
We know you're old, dude. Relax, okay? And then the episode ends with Joe Shane was saying, "If we don't get a quarterback, we're gonna roll with Jones and get a weapon. We good with that?" And Brian Dable was like, "Sure," and cut. So, yep, 10 out of 10 episode. Love it.
Oh, definitely.
Great stuff. And yeah, we will see what happens next week, and we'll go from there. All right. Next, the All-Star Game. Oh boy, heck of a game. The one time I actually sit down and watch it, the players all of a sudden decide to put on a show. Last year was like 3-2 was the score. The National League won it.
Yeah, National League won.
Yes. Thank God.
They don't do that very often.
No.
American League is dominated since like '96.
That's what I'm saying. I think the National League won like the past 5 years. No,
American League has won. I think American League has won like 9 of the past 10.
So like last year was like the first time, right?
Yeah.
Holy cow! All right. But both sides, AL and NL were like, no, we're gonna get the score and started early. So like the score was like 3-3 by the end of the third inning. But we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about the pitchers that opened up the game for the American and National League. Coburn Burns, man, for the Orioles. First off, he you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like he's been kind of quiet, like a quiet.
Yeah, he has definitely been quiet on the Orioles. You don't really hear much about him, which is shocking because he was one of the best pitchers in the game not too long ago.
Yeah, and he still is. It's just no one talks about him that much. Yeah, so he was great. He allowed just one hit to my guy Bryce Harper. Go Phils. He walked one guy, Ohtani. He did escape the inning unscathed, which is great. But obviously, we all know
the talk is Paul Skenes.
We wanted to see Paul Skenes.
Do that a lot. Chops the first one that he sees down to ball. We'll go the short way to finish off this inning. We got to see it, and Skenes made it a short visit. Libby loves it, and America probably starting to love this guy right here.
I love Paul Skenes, man. Him and Libby.
Great.
Oh boy. We just showed Paul Skenes against Aaron Judge, a very anticipated matchup, which ended sadly
in one pitch. Like a little bit of build-up, guys. Like, Judge, take a pitch, know the moment.
I know he was trying to swing for the fences, but hey, it's
rocket one.
It's all good. Look, but look, yeah, the main story was Skenes, man. The 22-year-old has been sensational for the Pirates this year. 6-0, 1.90 ERA. Batters are hitting just 202 against him, and against a top of the lineup that included Stephen Kwan, Gunnar Henderson, and Juan Soto, and then Aaron Judge once Soto got walked. He left the game with no runs allowed, just one walk to Soto.
And a 3-2 count to Soto. Like, he battled Soto and just missed.
Yeah, he just missed him. Like, it was to the point where it was like, okay, it was kind of close. I do feel like it was a strike, I feel like, but the ump was like, nah, we'll give Soto a walk to give it to Judge.
It wasn't the moment up.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, Skenes was great. 16 pitches. Wish low key we could see him for 2 innings, but hey, health, and it's just the
protect that arm. Protect that arm at all costs. That's basically what I do right now. Because he's so much fun to watch, but every time he pitches, I'm so afraid it's going to be the one that snaps.
Exactly. Biggest highlight of the night was Jarren Duran from the Red Sox 2-run home run in the bottom of the 5th to break a 3-3 tie. Ended up being the game-winning runs. Mason Miller of the Athletics got the win, including how fast was that fastball, by the way, Brian? That he
104. 104 miles per hour. Now, like I heard in like the pregame, someone said like, "Oh, I want to see Miller do it." You might say it too. I want to see him throw 104. I'm like, yeah, sure, that's an anomaly. No one throws 104 consistently. That guy, every single pitch seemed to be over 100 miles an hour.
I'm telling you, he's throwing heat, man. It's ridiculous. Emmanuel Clase of the Guardians got the save. Hunter Green of the National League, who plays for the Reds as well. By the way, got
the original Ohtani.
That is, I did not know that.
Yeah, he was so I was a freshman in high school. He was the cover athlete of Sports Illustrated as like a 2-way player. Like right around the time Ohtani was like about to enter the league or like about to be posted, he was drafted out of high school as a 2-way player, and he was going to do both, but then he just decided to go pitcher.
Okay, that's new.
Yeah.
All right, well. I mean, he didn't really have a good game in the All-Star game. He allowed 2 runs, charged with the loss. Logan Webb of the Giants allowed 3 runs. He was charged with a blown save. But
Yeah, he was. Webb was brutal. Webb was brutal to watch. He could not find a strike zone all game. Well, I mean, all inning. But like, I'm watching. I'm like, this guy sucks.
Don't know how he was an all-star, but
Mm-hmm.
what a game though overall. I know your boy Pete Alonso went 0 for 1. But other than that, I mean, a pretty good game, right? No
That
complaints
was a great
whatsoever.
game. A great All-Star game is still one of, I think, might have been the best All-Star game we still have. And I know All-Star games are kind of outdated, and that we don't really need them anymore. But it's still fun to watch the All-Star game.
Yeah, I mean, 7.6 million people tuned in to the game on Tuesday. So,
and that's even like, I was like reading about that, and people were like, that number overestimated because everyone was thinking people were going to be watching the RNC based off everything that happened in the country over the past couple of days. That would be where the headlines went. So they weren't really taking into account ratings, but a 12-point jump from last year is great.
That's why, we have the NBA All-Star Game, we have the NFL Pro Bowl, NHL All-Star events, but I just feel like nothing compares to MLB. And you would think, right? Because baseball is boring. No, the game was like 2 hours, 26 minutes long. That's pretty short.
It's blue. And it's the one that feels most like the sport it is. Like, the NBA All-Star Game is just like, how many points can you score? Like, it doesn't feel like you're watching a basketball game. Same thing with the Pro Bowl. Baseball, there's still an element like, okay, this could be an actual baseball game. There's still that element there. It's just the best of the best playing each other.
Exactly.
Hockey's a tournament, so it's a whole different thing.
Yeah. Well, I can't wait for next year. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
So we'll see about that. All right. So quick question for you. If you heard about, I'm not sure if you heard about this, but you like airplanes, right?
I have never been on an airplane.
Really?
Nope.
Never. Okay. Hypothetically, let's say you got a plane ticket right now. Where you headed?
Vegas.
Vegas. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty decent distance from Massachusetts. Okay. I bring this whole airplane topic up because an NFL legend was actually on a plane and he got arrested because of a flight attendant. Yeah.
Oh, great. I missed this story. Where's this going?
All right. So Broncos running back Terrell Davis, who absolute legend. He was actually, I believe, one of 8 running backs to rush for more than 2,000 yards in a season. Was a Hall of Famer officially in 2017. Great stuff. So basically, he and his family were on a plane, United Airlines, actually, from Denver to Santa Ana, California. Cool. Probably vacation. I'm not sure.
Spirit, where I thought this was going.
Yeah. Trust me, it is a bit confusing. So his son wants a cup of ice. Completely normal.
Cup of ice.
Yeah.
Just a cup of ice, like
just a cup of ice.
No liquids.
No.
You want like a water or some lemonade with some ice? Just ice.
Just ice.
That's weird.
So when the attendant comes by with the beverage service, right? The son was asking for ice, but either the attendant didn't even hear the son or ignored his request entirely. So Davis, right? He reached out and he tapped his arm. Completely normal, polite.
Excuse me. Yeah.
To get his attention. But I feel like you know where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
The attendant overreacted and was like, "Don't hit me!" And he went. So the attendant ditched the cart and went right to the front of the plane. And Davis, and here's the thing, Davis and all the other passengers were like confused. So there's evidence to show like the attendant, like, you're lying, you're overreacting, you're making a big scene. Unfortunately, yeah, exactly. But unfortunately, law enforcement didn't see it that way. 6 FBI and law enforcement agents were waiting for him at the end of the flight and handcuffed him. Well, they boarded and handcuffed him, I should say, and was removed from the flight in front of his family, leaving him embarrassed, of course. But after some questioning and everything, the attendant was inaccurate of the accusation. Wow. And the agents profusely apologized. And at the moment, the attendant is removed from his duties while the airlines continues to work on the incident. and they have apologized.
He should be fired and probably sued for libel.
At first, I thought it was a she, but it's a
See?
he.
Still, even worse, fire him.
Like
Fire him.
you're a guy. Why are we doing this? This is an NFL legend.
Yeah.
Who?
How bad did he hit you on the arm? By the way, you got a little tap on the arm. You know what I do when someone taps me on the shoulder? I turn around and act like a completely normal human being. I don't scream, throw a cart, and run and hide.
Like, I just don't understand, because look, everyone has seen it. It was literally just there's no video that we can see, but based off of what we read, it's literally just a tap on the shoulder or whatever, or the arm. Like, how?
Yeah.
Why are we doing this?
I don't know. People suck. People suck. And they're gonna get their just due. They're gonna get fired, and they're gonna be forever known as the guy that overreacted. And it's gonna be a lot harder for them to get a job again.
I just feel like the whole vacation for Davis and his family, or wherever they were going, it just got ruined because of
100% is ruined. Yeah, and do I blame law enforcement? I can't, because all they're told is someone happened on a plane. Something happens on a plane that's going to raise some ears.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, the flight attendant is completely in the wrong. Deserves everything that's going to come to him: the firing, the public humiliation, the shame, all of it.
This makes me not want to ask anyone for ice or a drink on a flight.
I'm just gonna sit there quietly on planes.
And if they ignore me, if they ignore me, I'll be like, okay, it's fine. I'll just
sit here. I'll watch the movie, I guess.
Or read the magazine they give us, or whatever, some 2-year-old magazine.
I'll read the Highland Life.
Oh, look, I know we don't talk about it often, but politics, right? Let's be honest, man. It's not our cup of tea, man. We don't talk about it.
It sucks.
Yeah, it does. But we gotta talk about it, because the past week has been crazy. Because when our current president gets COVID, shocking, and another presidential candidate gets shot in the ear, it has to be discussed on a sports podcast.
It's gotta be mentioned.
We'll start with the easy one, right? Biden tested positive for COVID. Hope he gets better, obviously.
Right, yeah.
He was experiencing mild symptoms of COVID. He got a dose of Paxlovid. This isn't the first time he's dealing with COVID at all.
This is the third time he's got COVID. What are you doing? Stop.
He's old, man. We don't even know how he got it.
Jesus Christ.
No one knows how he got it, but dude is
My
old.
grandma's 90. She's never gotten COVID before. She had COVID once.
What a strong woman. I like that. Yeah, come on, Biden. What we doing, bro? Shaking people's hands and stuff. Yeah. So that was easy. I hope he gets better, obviously, because it would be weird to see a president die of COVID. Even though Kamala Harris.
4 years after it came out, in 2020, if a leader died of COVID, it'd still be tragic. But it'd be like, all right, COVID, it's a pandemic going around. It's 4 years later. Give it the times, Biden. We moved on.
What Edwin Diaz? Does he still have that music? When
Narcos, yeah. That's Kamala Harris coming out right now.
Yeah,
she's in the pen warming up.
And then she runs out to that.
Come on, you fossil. Let's go.
I'm ready to go. First woman president in the bullpen.
Put me
warming
in,
up.
Coach. I'm ready.
So that was easy. So hopefully Biden gets better. But Trump on Saturday, I don't know. I didn't talk about it on Tuesday, but he was shot in an assassination attempt. Basically, the shooter at 5:10 p.m. Pacific time was identified as a person of interest. Then at 5:30, he was spotted with a rangefinder. Then at 5:52, Secret Service spotted him on a roof. So don't know why they didn't shoot him then, but
police officer that went up the ladder saw him with the gun and just went right back down.
Exactly. Okay, you're all Secret
Service.
Service.
There's a guy with a gun near the former president. Maybe we should raise some alarm bells.
You guys are Secret Service. Figure it out.
What are we doing here, guys?
6:02 p.m. Pacific time, Trump takes a stage, and at 6:12 p.m. Pacific time, Crooks, the guy, his name is Crooks, fires the first shot. So from the time he fired the first shot to the gunman killing him, I believe it was 20.
You got 8 shots off. I know that for a fact. He's a horrible shot.
He makes. Who shot Kennedy? Whoever
Leon
shot.
Oswald.
He makes Oswald look like our sharpshooter. This guy who shot Trump makes me look like a better shooter. And the only shooting I've done is in Fortnite. Keep that in mind. He makes me look like a great.
And I'm very glad he was a bad shot because I don't want anyone dying or getting shot. But he was a bad shot. But you're muted.
Oh yeah, my fault. Secret Service ended up finding him. I think 15 seconds after the first shot. I think I'm not exactly sure, but after 15 seconds after the first shot was fired, Secret Service ended up finding the shooter and killing him on the spot. So
good. That's got no place in our country.
Yeah.
No, I don't care what you believe, what you think. There's no reason to ever take a gun and shoot somebody. That person is a deranged individual, and very gladly he was taken care of by Secret Service.
Well, apparently he was bullied in school, but like you mentioned, no excuses.
No excuse. Okay, you're bullied in school. Doesn't mean you get to shoot the president and get a pass for it. No, that's not a normal thing. Get help. Get help. If there's anyone listening that's plotting against the president on either side, go check yourself into an insane asylum.
Because you're not gonna get away with it.
That's right. Yes, you're not getting away with it. A, because you saw what happened. B, you're an insane person, and that type of behavior has no business in this country. C, I don't know where I'm going with this. Just get help.
Oh man, but yeah, look, it is what it is. Thank God both Biden and Trump are safe, of course.
Oh, thank God they're both. You know the kind of chaos that would have gone if either one of them, would have died right now. Like it would be pure chaos. Nothing but speedy recoveries for both of them. Let's hope that nothing that like what happened with Trump on Saturday ever happens again in this country because it's a sad thing. And let's, God willing, just get to November. Get this over with.
All right, back to sports real quick to wrap things up. The Olympics are less than 9 days away. We still obviously don't have football yet in the Olympics, which is a crime. And so I want to quickly just assemble a 7-on-7 team. We can just do offense. All right, quarterback. Who are we putting in the Olympics at quarterback? I feel like that's an easy answer. Patrick Mahomes. Running back.
Running back would be. Who would you put at running back?
I would put McCaffrey.
Okay, yeah.
All right, receiver.
It's Tyreek Hill 1 and Justin Jefferson.
Okay. All right. Let's see. That's 4 guys. We need a center.
Shawn Michael Smith, Jason Kelsey,
sure. Oh, Kelsey, that would be fun. Kelsey represent. Okay. Mahomes, McCaffrey, Hill, Jefferson, Kelsey, both Kelseys, by the way.
Yeah, Travis and Jason. Yeah. Another running back.
Well, we could do 3 receivers.
Could do 3 receivers, yeah.
Amon-Ra? Nah.
Yeah. I mean, he'd be a good slot guy.
Devontae,
yeah. Devontae Adams would be nice. Yeah, I go Devontae.
Okay. Yeah, safe. So Mahomes, McCaffrey, Jefferson, Hill, Devontae Adams, Travis Kelsey, and Jason Kelsey would be our 7-on-7 team. And they got to bring football to the Olympics, man. If they do that, I'm definitely watching. I'm still watching because I want to watch the track and field stuff. In the Olympics.
Right, track, field, swimming's awesome.
Exactly. Basketball. Yeah, all that fun stuff. So, yeah, I think that will do it for the 3rd and 10 podcast. We had a lot of fun today, as always. We hope you guys did too. Join us next week for more NFL coverage. division breakdowns next week. Brian, me and you, we're going in, man. It's gonna be the end of July, heading into the beginning of August. The Hall of Fame game is August 1st.
We're so close, guys.
Oh,
So close.
So we'll start with some division breakdowns. We don't know which division we'll cover first, but we'll discuss that later on off air. Thank you to our sponsors, SeatGeek, Rochester and Jerky. Thank you to Bet Up Sports for giving us this platform. That's Brian.
And yeah, keep the trade deadline show coming up. Gotta talk to Eric about that.
Right. I forgot. That is before the end of the month, right? Okay.
July 30th, yeah. Still gotta work out details with that one, but yeah, that's coming.
You got it. So yep, that's Brian. I'm Nate. Thank you for your support, guys. As always, make sure to subscribe wherever you get your podcast, and also on the YouTube page, Nate Productions, for clips during the week. And remember, once a Giants fan, always a Giants fan, forever a Giants fan. We'll see you guys